We're now in part 4 of our discussion of roles, and here we're going to tackle the issue of that resources under the difference principle are really communally rather than individually owned. We're also going to look at the criticisms of the difference principle and the responses. There are 3 criticisms. 1 on the basis of incentives, 2 on the basis of effort, 3 on the basis of the idea that life is not fair. Under the difference principle, the wealthy, the poor, and everyone else receive and keep income not because they deserve it due to having worked for it, but because they are entitled to it under the difference principle, because that is what is fair and just in accordance to everyone's choosing the difference principle from the original position of equality under the veil of ignorance. In an important sense, the wealth in society belongs to everyone collectively, since it does not simply belong to the respective individuals and is distributed to persons according to the justice of the difference principle. From the standpoint of what happens and what one sees with sense perception, the above does not seem to be the case. Most of us work in the private sector and do not receive our checks from the government or society. However, from the standpoint of justice, that we understand by means of rational thinking, as opposed to perception, we understand that, contrary to the sensible appearances, the wealth in reality and not in appearances belongs to the community. The wealth changing hands from one person to another in the private sector is only an efficient means to distribute communal wealth. A quick criticism that is likely to arrive is that incentive to innovate and produce is taken away from innovative persons by arranging matters so that the least well-off benefit from their labor. The wealthy, but the wealthy still get to keep quite a bit of their income and increase it in proportion to their success in selling their innovative services and products on the market. If the benefiting of the least well off is through some form of tax, then the innovators still keep a significant portion of their extra earnings for themselves. If the benefiting of the least well off is through means other than taxes, then the wealthy keep all of their income. Either way, the incentive to innovate is still there. What would it mean to distribute by means other than taxes? To distribute wealth by means other than taxes. Let me offer an analogy. There are 2 ways to arrange our class. One, such that there is little participation and interaction among the students. 2, such that there is much participation and interaction among the students. On the second arrangement, those with less understanding of the material will benefit from learning from those with more understanding of the material. The analogy is not perfect for a number of reasons, but it gives us an idea of the application of the difference principle. The market can be arranged in such a way, regulated in such a way, that most of the wealth goes to those who benefit the least well off the most. Another quick criticism number 2, maybe that persons deserve what they can earn on the market by their effort. Those who put out more effort deserve more, regardless of their talents. Roles would have 2 responses to offer. First, the quality and quantity of one's effort is determined by character traits that one has acquired by the lack of birth and the social settings in which one has found oneself as a result of birth. The high and low achievers and everyone else are who they are In terms of how much and what kind of effort they put forth, yes, but as a result of lack of birth and social settings. Therefore, effort is a morally arbitrary criterion to establish moral desert. Second, even if the free market, even the free market does not simply reward effort. One may exert lots of effort but not secure a high price for one's service on the market due to low demand for the good or due to the high supply of laborers in that field. Another and third quick criticism may be that life is not fair, i.e., is full of good and bad luck and contingency in general, and that justice's fairness just does not reflect the reality of life. In response, we get a reminder here that ethics and justice are about what ought to be rather than about what is. That is to say, respect for freedom ought to be and is the goal of just institutions, even if freedom is frequently not respected in life. Let us remember that that respect, according to Rawls, would entail respect of our necessary rational choice of the social contract that affirms the difference principle.